Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you're already part of the Sprinkle Squad. I'm so happy to see you again, and I am so excited about this build that I have for you today. I decided that I wanted to make a super adorable teacher's home. Like, imagine that, kindergarten or first grade teacher that does nothing but arts and crafts and is super bubbly and everything's colorful and fun and amazing. That's the vibe we're going for with this build. And I know not every teacher's like that and not every school's like that kind of thing, but that's basically just the vision I have in mind for that, if that makes sense. And so I ended up doing this pastel multicolored situation. I even end up putting a giant rainbow on the lot, and this is actually in Britechester, in case you were wondering. And I honestly really love building on this lot. This is the Honeydew Fields lot. I think I've built on it several times, but it's just, I feel like it's got a really nice surrounding area. And I actually ended up using that really colorful puzzle piece, carpet, I think it's carpet, that's in the game that I don't know if I really ever used, just because it's just so, wow, it's a lot. But I actually end up using it it's the tiling, or the the stone leading up to the house, and I wanted to do rainbow flowers leading up to the front door and having that cute little flower basket on the front door. I mean, it just all out with all of the colors. And I end up putting an easel inside with the arts and craft cart, and a little area where there's kids projects and stuff like that. I just really wanted it to be just super adorable, you know what I mean? Just obviously it feels like it's really meant for a specific sim, but I just thought it was so cute. Let me know if you have a sim in mind for this, because I just think it's so cute. I feel I don't know if you guys know who I'm talking about when I say, what is it? Miss Frizzle. That's kind of, you know what I mean? Just that really extra, just over the top kind of thing. That's kind of what we were channeling here for this build. And this does have space for 2 sims. There is a double bed upstairs, and you can get to both sides really easily. So you can definitely have 2 sims here, but it was so cute. I ended up using this cute little cat mailbox because I never use it, and what better build to use it in than this one. And I'm trying to remember, because I did this a little while ago, and I don't know why it's just taken me a while to do the voiceover for it, but I honestly, I think I end up putting a car and stuff in the front yard. I'm trying to remember, but we do end up using those really adorable purple shutters there on that window, and that's from My Wedding Stories, in case you don't recognize those, but it's so pretty. And again, I end up using, I think the stained glass is also from My Wedding Stories, I believe. I end up using the big round one too. I end up using it upstairs, actually, in the bedroom. I originally thought maybe I would put it in the kitchen, but when I actually start building in the kitchen, it didn't fit quite right, and I really wanted to use that window. So we do end up actually just moving it upstairs because I really wanted to use it. And of course, just adding more colorful flowers. I feel the more things I layered on this build, the happier I was. Which is not always the case, but I just think it ended up looking so cute. And like I said, I ended up adding a giant rainbow, which I'm not exactly sure at what time point I end up adding it, but it is actually from the Get Famous actor career, and I think it's a studio prop, basically. So if you go on debug and all, it has all of the props, the giant stuff, and so I end up pulling that out and putting it kind of behind the house, so you see it peeking out, and oh my gosh, this was just really just such a fun build to make. I feel I don't really do super specific builds very often, but this just felt I really had to, and it's just so cute. And then I think, like I said, I think I end up putting, I believe it's this white car that I end up putting out front. I don't know why, but it just seems I don't know, they go to work and they just put all of their stuff in the back. And I would assume, I'm pretty sure this would be considered a tiny home if it wasn't for all of the platforms and everything I have out front, leading up to the front door, kind of cause an issue. And originally I was thinking about having a side porch there, but I do end up just taking it out because it just ended up, there was something about it didn't look quite right. I don't know, it just felt a little too much. I think I just end up putting a table out there. At least I'm pretty sure. I love how I'm I did build this, I promise. It's just been a little bit since I did. But just trying to add had little pockets of color kind of all over the place, and I just end up making everything super bright and fun and whimsical, and I think it just turned out super well. And adding, again, just more bushes, more flowers, like just everything being a little bit over the top here. And I end up like I said, when I start putting the kitchen in, it just, between the window, the door, it just, none of it made a whole lot of sense in terms of layout. And I think I end up using, I thought I used maybe the Home Chef Hustle, but maybe I swapped it out. Like I said, it's been a little while, and then trying to get a balance of color. Like, I wanted to be colorful, but I wanted it to make sense. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't just want to throw everything at it, and I think it came together really well, even though it is very colorful and over the top, if that makes sense. Like, it all works together, kind of like that maximalist, eccentric kind of thing. It just kind of works. And I really tried to make this window work. I really, really did, trying with different shelving, all of that kind of stuff, and I just couldn't make it work. And then I also, of course, because I had this up on like a platform, like I had to be careful too with what kind of tile I used, because it kind of like cut off the bottom of the tile. So I had to use the one that's like tile all the way up. And then just adding in, I actually do end up squeezing in a like full living room and everything, which definitely took a minute. And this has been play tested, so your sim shouldn't have any issues. And I can't honestly remember if I already mentioned it, but it is up on the Sims 4 gallery under my ID, Spice and Sprinkles, all one word, all lowercase, and down in the description if you want to see it written out. And so you shouldn't have any issues, like I said, but The Sims is The Sims, you know what I mean? Like, and some people have issues with stuff. So, and I definitely knew, like, kind of squishing all the furniture together, I really had to test some things out. You know what I mean? I couldn't trust that it was just, like, going to work. And then I do end up putting, like, a small dining area as well over in the corner. So, really, there's a lot of stuff packed into this build. And I think I ended up using, like, in the bathroom, that shower tub combo with the shower curtain that's, like the flowers, and it's like super bright and colorful. And I feel like it's one of those that like I always want to use, but then I never do because it never works. You know what I mean? But of course, if it was going to work in some build, it would be this one. And I think I end up using like the Nifty Knitting debug plant holders and everything, just because, again, it's just like I imagine this sim just like crafts and makes all this stuff, and everything's just so cute. And then I end up squeezing in the easel, and where I put it originally when I'm doing this didn't work super well. I had to like move it around a little bit, so if it looks a little different in the screenshots, I remember the sim not being able to like get to it. They were kind of like, excuse me, this is way too close to everything. And I was gonna put like a fireplace, but it didn't like super work out that way. And we do have a dedicated office space as well, which I figured, being a teacher, that makes sense. You need a space to do stuff. And I mean, of course, like at least here, like you have your own desk and everything in your classroom, and but I feel like you'd want to be able to work at home too, you know what I mean? Like you wouldn't necessarily always have to be like at the school when you're working on stuff, because I figured this is that kind of teacher that really does like all this like prep and all of these like cute things like at home, and so they spend a lot of time at doing that. And I just think it turned out really cute and adorable, and like thinking about this specific sim for this build, and just adding that little like knitting clutter there on the counter, because I figured maybe they were working on stuff there and just kind of left out their supplies. And I don't know, that's really just kind of like what I was thinking when I was doing this, and just trying to add in all of the little things that kind of made sense to me for this sim. And then I ended up putting like, I think on the wall, like leading up the stairs, I end up putting like those school posters, and underneath the stairs, I end up putting, that's where I put like projects and like storage and stuff. I figured, where kids had left or given the teacher the stuff. And I ended up using that new bookcase as well that came from oh my goodness, that new kit, which I haven't even used much of. Oh my goodness, for the life of me, I can't remember the name of it. We've been getting way too many kits. Not that I'm complaining about new stuff, but I cannot remember the name of all of them. Like, I do try my best to remember, but I think it ended up looking really cute over here, and I ended up like adding in like a project box, that kind of thing. Again, just like imagining that there were just supplies everywhere, you know what I mean, with all the projects and things. And like, I understand too that my guess is if you're a teacher, you probably don't have school posters, you know what I mean? Like lining your walls, but it's The Sims. It's really just supposed to lean into that idea, you know what I mean? Like teachers are normal people, but it just, I don't know, it just felt really cute to have that in here. And because I did actually teach for a while, like at a university, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have that kind of stuff around. Like, of course, it was a university too. It wasn't like elementary school, but like you wouldn't know that's what I did by walking into my house. But I just thought it would be really cute to have that stuff here and just all the little extra stuff around, little extra patterns and things like that. And I will say, figuring out exactly what I wanted to do here, like in the living space, it definitely took me a little while because I did want like a full living room area and the office area, but trying to figure out how the colors were all going to blend together definitely took me a little bit of time. I feel like for some people, that kind of maximalist, lots of color, eclectic comes a lot easier, but for me, it typically takes a little while to kind of plan it all out and figure out how it's going to work together, and so that it's not overwhelming to the senses, you know, if that makes sense. But I figured that cute little like marker board would be really cute above the desk, you know, like you're making your lesson plans and everything. And I don't know, I wanted a couch that had like pillows and blankets and stuff on it, just because, again, that felt correct. I don't know. Like, and this, it's funny because I talk about like what I feel like what the sim would be like, even though I probably will never play with this house, if that makes sense. Like, just because I don't do a whole bunch of gameplay. Like, I actually have never played with Strangerville and that kind of thing. Like, I probably should. I've actually avoided all gameplay of like on YouTube or Twitch or anything of people playing Strangerville because I don't want it to be spoiled. Although, like, I mean, I know what it's about, but the actual like specific mechanics of the gameplay and like the things you need to do, I try to avoid, just because if I decide to actually do it, I don't want it to be like spoiled. And I thought it'd be really cute to add a little mug there, like, you know, they like to sit there, read their magazine or whatever. I was about to say newspaper because I've been playing a lot of the Sims 1 and 2 recently since it came out, like for the re-release, and you have newspapers in those games. So I literally was like about to say they read their newspaper. Well, no, that's not a thing in this game, but I thought it was just kind of funny that I was sitting there thinking about a newspaper, which I don't know, like I played so much of The Sims 1, but I've gotten so used to The Sims 4, you know, and I played a lot of The Sims 3 as well, but I feel like if I went back and played The Sims 3, there would be things that I forgot about, you know, if that makes sense. And I honestly am in love with that little ottoman we put there underneath that table. Like, it's so pretty. That is such a cute little pattern. I feel like I need to use that more. And I feel like for a kid's room, that would be really adorable. And then just adding in like just all of the things. And I imagine this sim has gotten like teaching awards and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of like, or like science fair awards, like, you know, their class like won stuff, that kind of thing. So I wanted to add in like some trophies. Obviously those trophies are for like very different careers, but I'm going to say that it's for the teacher. And just adding in a little bit of clutter there when you walk in, of course, somewhere for you to drop, you know, shoes, mail, keys, that kind of thing. I wish your Sims did that. Like, that would be so fun. Like, if your Sims would actually, like, do that. Of course, like, I'm asking for a lot, but I like thinking about that kind of stuff. Like, that would be really cute if your sim kind of would do that. And then just adding in a lot of like books and things around, again, and I use that like nifty knitting like crafting desk because, again, I figured they would have a lot of crafting supplies and everything, and it just looks very like appropriate for this sim. And like just adding in all of the clutter, all of the thing, like using that yellow cow print rug back there, which I don't feel like I use super often, but I mean, if I'm going to use it in a build, it makes a whole lot of sense for this sim. And then just finding those cute posters that I was talking about earlier, because they just honestly kind of look like the posters you would see like in a grade school classroom. And, you know, honestly, y'all, when I was like little, I thought I would be like a teacher, like elementary, maybe middle school. And I had been to those, like if you've ever been to like the school like teacher stores, where they buy all of these like posters and like the bulletin board, all of the like the borders and everything, if you know what I'm talking about, just like all the colorful things. And I loved it. Like I loved going into those stores and like thinking like, oh, that would be really cool. And of course that's not the path I chose for my career, but when I was younger, that was like always really fun for me. Like I just thought that it was always really exciting. I was also that kid that really loved going school supply shopping. I love it. I loved it. I still love it. Like, not that I go school supply shopping anymore, but like, I don't know. It was always really exciting for me. Like, and I don't know. I feel like if I had my own kid, had to go now and like go through all of the people trying to also shop, like, I feel like I don't know if I would feel the same way anymore, but I don't know. Do people do like school shopping still in stores, or do people do stuff online? You know what I mean? Like I have honestly no idea, since I don't have kids and haven't been a kid for a very long time. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like, now that we do so much online shopping, maybe that's not as much of a thing anymore, but I don't know. I always loved picking out which subject is which color, that kind of thing. Like, and I feel like that for a lot of people, you have like a specific color scheme for like what each subject was. And I think it's just kind of funny. Like for me, math was always red and science was blue, social studies was green, and English literature was purple. Like that was the color scheme. And to me, that's like, it makes the most sense, and that is what it should be. You know what I mean? Which is just kind of funny. Like I've had this conversation with my husband, and like I can't even remember. I think we may agree on some of those, but let me know. Were you somebody that had like specific color schemes in mind for your subjects, and what were they? You know what I mean? Like, do they match mine, or are they different? I just think it's always so funny to me. And I'm realizing too that I have some of this cabinetry doesn't match. I think I figured that out. Oh no, yes, I did. Thank goodness. I was getting worried that I didn't realize it, since there was 2 pink and white swatches for these, but they're kind of like inverted where the colors were. I was really hoping I realized it, and I did. Yay, I'm glad. I was getting a little bit worried. I do end up, I think, putting a mirror over in the corner, kind of behind that plant, but I don't think my guess is your sim can't really use it, but I don't think that's really a big deal, since they do have the dresser and they have the mirror in the bathroom. They don't need to be able to use it. So sometimes like I like including stuff, but even though it's not necessarily in a place that it could be used, but I just like having it there, because like realistically, like you could still use a mirror, you know what I mean? Even if there was a plant in front of it, although like the whole full-length mirror effect may not be as useful in real life if there is a plant in front of it, but you could use it. So I like to think of the Sims that way as well. And then just including, of course, some books up there on that ottoman at the end of the bed, and just like in here finally adding the exterior, because I honestly really was back and forth about it, so I kind of left it for the end. Shocker, since I didn't know what to do with it, I waited and figured, I'd figure it out later. But I think I just end up adding in like a little seating area out here. I can't remember if I put any, I think I do put some planting pots out there as well, because I figured maybe the sim was into gardening. I say that, hopefully that's true. I think I did, but it's just been a minute since I actually created this. And I know that, we can't use cars, you know what I mean? But I don't know. It's just realistic to me. It just seems like that's something you would kind of have, like, and I don't know, I think it's cute to have it there, and not always, but like if it fits, and like to me it just kind of makes sense. And I don't know why, but that car it just felt like it was a teacher car. And apologies for that little pop-up that just came up. I ended up having a sim on this lot, like to test something, and it like, because the lot was so expensive, I guess it started like taking off their aspiration. I didn't know. And I figured it would stop when I went into build mode, and it didn't. It just kept giving me the notifications of their aspiration being completed. So I just thought that was kind of funny. Like, it was just a sim that was already on this lot, because I always have a sim on the lot when I take pictures, because I like it, that like when the fountains are running, and like if I have a fireplace, that they light the fireplace, that kind of thing, because I think that makes a huge difference in the screenshots. So I think I was just testing something, and like the sim just, you know, all of a sudden their aspiration was complete, which I guess is kind of cool for them. They just like the game paused and all of a sudden, you know, now they've got this like a big home. And this does come out to 62,000 simoleons. So honestly, it's not too bad, but I mean, it is a lot for like a tiny home. But, you know, I don't know. Some of my builds like end up being a lot more than that. So I'll take it. 62,000, especially with money cheats or free real estate on that kind of thing. You can just kind of move your sim in if you just want to use the lot, you know what I mean? There's definitely no harm in that. I feel like some people think it's cheating, but honestly, it's a game and you play it how you want to in the way that it's fun for you, you know what I mean? Like that's the whole point of playing a game, you know what I mean? And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and I hope you have a really sweet day. Bye everybody.